Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Josh, aka Fumbles, here with the streaming studio. It's currently like midnight 17 on Friday. It's Friday morning now, so wasn't really planning on making a video at this hour. That wasn't really my intent, but some stuff happened in the craft beer community today, and some stuff I'd like to address because it's I don't know, there's a lot of stuff just flying around, right? And I think it's really easy when all the information is just in one spot. So I'm going to try to help do that and kind of see the observations I've made on the situation. And this is with Melvin Brewing, which is originally out of Wyoming, but they have a brewery up in Bellingham, Washington now, which is a kind of hub for our community here in Washington. And so my understanding of what happened in this situation and what started all this is I saw this post in a community I'm involved with online, and it said, "Show us on the doll where Melvin Brewing touched you." And, you know, that's kind of messed up. A little bit. Just a wee bit. Some people might shrug it off as a joke, whatever it might be, but what I did was, and what I hope most people would do, is they kind of go in and try to get more information before they start just freaking out. And it's a reasonable thing to quote unquote freak out too, because it's not something that should be joked about ever, and especially to where the point we are in what is the cultural norm in today's culture. So definitely something that shouldn't be done. So anyway, I saw this post, "Show us on the doll where Melvin Brewing touched you," and then I kind of did some research as to what this was and why there's an uproar and what was happening with them. And from what I could find, and some of the stuff I'm going to do a little bit of looking into on this, and I've got a bunch of tabs open on my computer. I'm going to be reading a little bit on this, clicking, and not looking at the camera all the time, so I do apologize for that. I'm going to actually look at these a little bit too. This is some notes I did, a little bit of research. And the reason, so why I'm making this video, right? That was the why the fuck for Wednesdays, but for this Friday, it's just why I made this video. Simple as that. I'm making this video because I want to have all of the information I have found so far on this issue in one spot, presented in a way that I think is easy to ascertain. I think that's the right word, hopefully. Let's look it up. We're looking up things today, so let's make sure I use the right words. Ascertain, right? That's ascertain. Learning. Find something out, make certain of. So that's perfect. Hey, look at me using them big boy words. So that's why I'm making this video, right? That is what I'm trying to do here. I'm not doing it all out of salt on a company per se. But I'm not going to be buying their product until I see something otherwise from them. That is something I would like to state. Now, personally, I will not be buying any of their products until I see a little bit of difference here. And I'm actually going to do a little bit more research into the Stone Brewing and Dystopian State Brewing as well, because there was some stuff going on with them earlier in this year that I just found out about after reading into this. And I'm going to read into that a little bit more before I make my decision on that. We can do later videos on that and kind of address those if you guys are interested in that. And if not, let me know. If this is not something that's interesting for you on my channel, I'm still going to do videos you guys might not love sometimes. But if you guys tell me, hey, this isn't something I want to hear about, I might listen to it. Who knows? If it's like a general consensus. But for my channel, this is something I want to talk about. This is something I don't think should be joked about. And yeah. Point two I wanted to make before I continue on this, I am not making these statements or these my things on behalf of someone. I'm not purchasing their beer on behalf of women. I'm not doing this video complaining for someone else, because one of my pet peeves and one of the things that bothers me is when people try to make statements for veterans when they aren't veterans. And being as that I am not a woman, I mean, this doesn't only pertain to women, right? That's a horrible thing to say, and I apologize for stating in that fashion. This doesn't only happen to women. This is just a sexual harassment issue, and that is a big problem. But it is probably percentage-wise, I haven't done the research on it, so I'm not going to state this as a statement, but I believe sexual harassment is usually more oriented towards women. We aren't going to get too off topic on that, so I'm done with going too off topic on that. We can do a little bit of research later in the video, or on another video if you guys like, and we can kind of dive more into that. I might actually check it here in a second, but I want to stay on topic on this video, because that's something I get a little bit off track with things. What I want to see, the why I'm doing this video, because when I want something I've had a conversation with a lot of my friends about, and something that was instilled in me from my time in the service, was that if you're going to make a statement or complain about something or say, hey, this is wrong, you want to give actionable something from that, some actions to give upon that. And one of the things I wanted is an actual apology from Melvin, because right now what I've seen from them, and I understand it's the first day it's happened, right? And I understand this is when all the stripes coming out. I understand that, but it was a 20-second type on Facebook, if even. And the reason I personally have a problem with that, and we're getting a little off our timeline here, I apologize, but Melvin has a gigantic PR marketing team, right? They have people who do a lot to design their beers. I don't know if it's one or two people, but they have people that are dedicated, right, to doing their marketing scheme. They have very good marketing. Melvin has been crushing it, minus this situation and minus these things that I've been hearing about now, minus that, on their actual visible marketing scheme, not their brewery culture that I'm hearing about now, but their marketing scheme and how they present their product and their material they're pushing out. They do an amazing job on it. They are very intelligent people in that fashion. So that this is happening is very astounding, and that the response to it was so low key from such a relevant company. What I thought is mind boggling to me. And hopefully I don't use that term too much. I use it a little bit too often sometimes. Quick note here also, the town and pitchfork mentality online right now. I get it. I see where it's coming from, but give the company time to address it. And that's why I'm saying this. I'm saying this isn't an attack right now because I want to give them time to kind of actually address this in a better fashion than they have, but I also want to give them the time to do it. Hopefully it is very sooner than later. Hopefully it is more than just a quick typing on their Bellingham Facebook page, and we can take a quick read of that. So after, let's read the initial. So this is what the post was. Show us on the doll where Melvin Brewing touched you. And this is one of the statements I saw, and there's been a couple witnesses to this. I'm trying to find more information on this, but from the hour of research I did when I got home, I saw this is what happens when a founder of a company, I don't know if it was actually the founder, so I'm not going to say that, sorry. This is what happens when someone from Melvin Brewing saunters into another brewery and sexually assaults the bartender. They do nothing and wave it off with some age-old sexist platitudes and go about their business. So they're saying basically they sexually harassed someone, they got called out on it, and then nothing happened of it. And this statement was made, there's a lot of misinformation concerning the assault. For instance, the person doing the assault in Bellingham was not a co-founder, but the cook from the thing they're a part of, from a different assault in Jackson Hole that happened. They're scrambling, and that's why they haven't done a statement. I'm actually going to read this all the way through because this is someone's statement. I'm not going to say who it was. You guys can do more research on that, or the person can post on this video if they see it. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to read names. There's a lot of misinformation concerning the assault at the moment. For instance, the person doing the assault in Beeham was not the co-founder, but the cook from Tie Me Up. He has been fired for a different assault in Jackson Hole that happened. Think they are scrambling at the moment, most likely because the assault in Beeham is as much news to them as it is for a lot of people. They have made a statement yet because it's likely their case. They shouldn't get compromised for the party involved in Jackson. Needless to say, the website stuff has been there since day one, and it's always been in poor taste, and even so at the moment. I hadn't seen that website personally. That's crazy that that's been on there for that long, and we'll kind of take a couple looks at that as well. They need to clean their house to stay relevant, and the person who got assaulted needs to get a case going that they haven't done, so the person can go to jail. My 2 cents. Either way, IP is gross, and so is bro culture. That guy just throws in a couple dumb cents on that. But someone's statements here, based on comments and other threads by women in Bellingham, this isn't true. There are multiple claims against the Bellingham staff members, so I haven't found a lot on that. I did a little bit of digging into it, but I think it's somewhat being private communities. I didn't see a lot of that. And I also don't really have the time to stay up until 3 in the morning reading through Facebook comments. So these are the main statements I'm seeing here. I haven't gotten to see the other ones. I'd appreciate if people link to those. I'd love to see those. Please let me know about them. I'd like to see more about, I'd like to see, I don't want to judge a company just based on a couple of statements I saw on Facebook, because I bash people all the time for just reading headlines on Facebook. So I want to make sure I have all my facts straight. And I'm actually going to reach out to Melvin Brewing, see what their statement is when they do an official press release, and hopefully maybe reach out to some of the people that are witnesses. Hopefully I can talk with some of those people. And the reason I say that is because I love the craft beer community, and I've gotten involved with some of the people in it, and I've done some articles on it in 2015 on diversity in craft brewing. We're going to some stuff on that later in this video, hopefully. I don't know if I'm going to go on that, but we'll see. But yeah, the pitchfork mentality, I get the uproar. I do. It's not something we joked about. It is something that makes me angry, and not a lot of things make me angry. Yeah. So this is what was posted just a wee bit ago. So 7 hours ago, and then 9 minutes by them. So 7 hours and 9 minutes ago, 5 something in the evening. Melvin Brewing Bellingham posts. Over a year ago, we made a poor decision on our website in regard to contacting Melvin Brewing. The Touch Us header was meant to be a silly joke, but in hindsight, it wasn't appropriate, and we all want to extend a heartfelt apology. Please know that we may be irrelevant, like to have a good time, but in this case, we crossed the line. Ultimately, our desire is to produce the best beer and share it with the community we admire. At Melvin Brewing, we do not condone blurb culture or tolerate any sort of sexual harassment. Melvin Brewing strives to support women in all facets of our operations. Many of our employees at breweries and upper management are women. We will continue to review our policies and ensure the workplace, website, and brewery harassment free. So the reason this is humorous to people that has ever seen anything from Melvin Brewing is that they are very much so bro culture in a lot of their advertising and marketing. Maybe not in their actual brewery culture, but it sounds like it might be. But on their advertising and marketing, it is very bro culture. It's very Wu-Tang, very hip-hop. Wu-Tang's not bro. God, sorry. I'm never going to say that again. I'm so fucking sorry. I'll beat myself later. Not in that way. Gross. Get your minds out of the gutter. Wu-Tang for life. I'm kidding. I'm not like a hardcore Wu-Tang fan, but I also know way better than to say Wu-Tang is bro, because they're not. Anyway, so they try to do like these hip-hop bro videos, and you can look them up on YouTube to see that advertising scheme and what they've been doing with it and all that. So with this, right, they do this post, and then we look over here on this, and this was sent out to someone who works in the industry, and he posted this picture, this email. Thanks, unfortunate. The copy on the site is not a reflection of Melvin Brewing culture and company way. It was a stupid, tasteless joke from a web designer that was unchecked. We have communicated with local press and responded to the local community. Official statement below. Hope to work together in the near future. So the thing I have with this is they're not taking responsibility at that point when actually communicating with other businesses. I don't know who this guy is. I'm going to drop names. This is a thing from Stone. We're going to touch a couple things on that, and the references I'm doing on that are to address what other companies have done in response to the statements they made on their social media, and how a little bit more professional, in my opinion, so far from what I've seen. But I still need to do more research on these from the initial site. The first impression, it is a little more little bit better done. So the story up to this point from what we've heard is that someone was sexually harassed by someone from that company. It was brought up, and then there's still jokes going around about show and why it's a big problem, and not only from the sexual harassment, but the joke of show us on the doll where Melvin Brewing touched you. Show us on the doll where this company sexually harassed you, making a joke about something that's a serious issue in therapy for children to hopefully communicate with someone of a young age where someone sexually abused them. I don't get that. I don't get how in any way, shape, or form that could be funny. What reference that has that is humorous. So that's my problem with that. This guy goes into kind of a harsh rant from his emotional, and I get that. It's a little bit emotional, a little bit angry, and I get why, because he probably knows the person involved. This is not my statement, but I'm going to read it through because that's what this is. This is information to you guys on what I've seen. So not only are y'all kung fu incompetent capitalist appropriative Wu-Tang bros who ownership and management have been talking about fucking chicks in the back of their touring brewery bus at JBF since she pulled into business location years ago, but that was running a brewery in Beeham, which is the time you actually started brewing local beer. Some upper management ownership had an incident in another brewery and groped a gal who was doing her job and telling you you're assumptive asses not to open your own fucking beer inside their establishment. On top of that, you had a constant reel of black and white kung fu films playing in your family-friendly restaurant that prominently featured naked women being assaulted. So in light of all that, a week of internationals, and on the week of International Women's Day, you pleased to make another country safe. And you are pleased to make another country safe for women and children. You post some ridiculous show me on the doll where Melvin Brewing has touched you on your website. Grow, get better, apologize, or fucking leave. So yeah, that statement's from that dude. What was the other one? This. So 2 hours before that post, or a couple hours earlier in the day, they posted, to celebrate National Women's Day, we at Melvin Brewing Bellingham are donating $1 of every bill sold to the Malala Fund, which helps girls around the world go to school, from creating safe spaces in northern Nigeria to training young Pakistani women as activists, funding STEM education to Syria refugees. So yes, all girls means all girls everywhere have the right to education. Now, what kind of crazy about this, so Malala Fund, I did a little bit of research on them, and my understanding is they're relatively young, about 2015, from when they transferred to an actual 501c or 501c3. They're recently partnering with Starbucks. From their current reports online that Visible, they have, for a 1 month period, they had a $50,000 grant, and it only showed the hours. I didn't really see the income to any of the payees. And now on their forms reported up to 2018, they have over 19 mil reported in income, but they haven't actually showed where that's going yet on that visible form. So I don't know what their actual charity rating is. They could be great. They're partnering with Starbucks, so hopefully they are. Starbucks has some great things with veterans. Anybody that's complaining about Starbucks not doing things for veterans and complaining that they haven't helped veterans and they put homeless before veterans, do some fucking research, bro. Read a book. And Starbucks has done a lot for vets. Read into it. Okay. So deflecting to the web designer, that's a big thing. That's like, what's going on with that? Why are you guys deflecting to someone else? Take responsibility of your company's actions and move forward with it. And that's something we're going to glance at Dystopian Tate and Stone and see what they did and kind of read those real quick as well. We're at 15 minutes in. I'm going to try to end this before a half hour. So I'm going to try. I might talk a little bit faster. If I talk too fast, I'll look at that for next video. So why this is such a big deal in brewing culture and breweries and the family environment and the insanely incredible communities that is established in Washington State and all around the United States and probably all around the globe, brewing culture and family culture around that, of creating something together and enjoying it together once you're of age. But and I say this because I've worked within a brewery. I've worked within a brewery family, and I've seen this environment, and I've worked within the craft beer industry before. And so why it is such a big deal in brewing culture as opposed to another big company or whatever, why people are like up in arms in the pitchfork thing, and why the pitchfork and torch, and why people are so angry right now is because breweries, if you haven't hung out at a brewery and it's beer is interesting to you, I recommend just go hang out at it. Like, go stop by at a local brewery, ask to talk to the team and kind of get to know like what's going on there. If if they're in the middle of a brew day, don't go in and be like, hey, can I talk to the brewer because he might be in the middle of something, don't be rude to them, don't barge in and demand it, but like, take some time and get to know them and see what the culture's all about there, because you see families coming there to congregate, to celebrate with friends, and to just hang out and connect as human beings with one another. It's something I talk about on the show, is connecting with human beings, one close to another, face to face. And brewing communities and the breweries there and the culture inside of it has really connected a lot of people within that. There's a lot of charity events that happen within them. They raise a lot of funds for a lot of amazing nonprofits. And bring together communities very well in this really cool fashion. And the drinking isn't about getting drunk. It's about learning and exploring a craft. And it's really a really amazing culture. And the brewer and the people within the brewery are usually involved in that very heavily. They're very involved with their clientele, their customers, and that customer family they get, whatever they might call it within their culture. And that family group that comes in to see them, and you become part of their family. You go to the same breweries all the time, you meet the same people. And when I go to this brewery over and over and over again, and I'm hanging out there and have a good time with my family, and then all of a sudden I see that this is on their website that show us on the doll where Melvin Brewing touched you, and I find out that someone that works for the brewery has allegations of sexual assault against them, and the quickest thing they do is a 30-minute Facebook post, and they deflect some of the information. That's where my concern comes in, and that's why I want to see a response from them in the very near future. And another reason I made this video is to show how simple it is to make a video response to something. I finished my day at work after kind of seeing all that, and I walked home. Took me 45 some odd minutes, whatever it might be, in the dark. I had my work day. I finished my work day, and then I came home and I made a video addressing the issue. I don't know why 30 seconds of Facebook typing and not a well thought out, well presented letter with an actionable plan was presented. I think that might have been jumping the gun a little bit, and I think sending out emails like that was jumping the gun. Because if we look at the responses that like Stonebrink made, and I'm going to try to hurry up here a little bit so we can finish by 25 maybe. So this article, I'll link this in the description of the video, but Stonebrink co-founder apologizes for misogynistic tweets. And this is the tweet that was sent out. We're going to take a quick look at this, and then I'm going to post the video, or this here from Brewbound. So this is the captured screenshot. Actually, I have this pulled up, sorry. So this is someone on Twitter saw this from Arrogant Bastard, one of the Stone accounts. My technique will always wash away the ordinaries of your day or wear a few cap off a day of significance. Put me in your mouth, make up sound, swallow, express appreciation, ask permission, do it again. Hint, only wussies asked to do the do permission part. So a lot of people took that as a sexual harassment or rape joke, and it's so not cool, right? Not fucking cool at all. So this person kind of The last line, hint, only wussies do ask permission part seems especially inappropriate. Without the line, it's an SM joke. With the line, it's something else. Arrogant Master responds, got it, folks. I can acknowledge a bad move and see that it's far from your attention. I get it. I'm on the opposite spectrum from your unintended read. You have my support. Gone. And then statement from Stone immediately after. Yesterday, we posted an inappropriate tweet on Arrogant Bastard account. It created an underlying message referring sexual consent that was not intended or even realized at the time. I see now that the post could have been easily read as distastefully making light of a very serious issue in today's society. We apologize for our poor judgment that enabled the tweet to come off as a mockery of the subject. Very real and serious implications. I, Greg Kosh, as well as Stone Brewing and the Arrogant Bastard, do not condone sexual violence or misogyny in any way. This poorly phrased nature of our tweet does not represent anything even remotely accessible in the past, present, or future of our business and society as a whole. And like he really addresses this, and then he says, in the foreseeable future, all female member of our company will be handling tweets from Arrogant Bastard effective immediately. To address that and to hope that someone with the mindset of keeping an eye on that will do a better job. What a thought. He has an actionable plan, and I believe he actually did a video as well. I'm going to double check on that, and if I'm wrong, I'll make a note in the video notes, so I apologize for that. If I am, I'll double check. So Stone addresses it, right? And Stone takes a look, and I need to do some more research to really confirm that. But for my initial site, Stone really took a minute to say, what the fuck, dude? Our bad. This is something that's not okay, and addresses it. Not 30 seconds, sorry. Facebook post. But again, this is only the first night. I'm hoping to do more response tomorrow, and this has started off as a representation of the fact. I apologize. Like I said, it's something that makes me angry talking about issues like this, being jokes about rape, sexual harassment, and I'm not saying rape culture, because it shouldn't fucking be a culture. I don't know if a culture is still the term correctly in the English language, but there shouldn't be a culture around it. That's disgusting. I'm not getting too off topic. I'm not going to get too depressed thinking about that, because that's terrifying to me. Okay, so Dystopian State out of Tacoma, Washington. Another Washington Brewing. This is something I'm just finding out about. So, in a Facebook group for local beer levels, someone described Dystopian Fate as the only place I've spit beer back into the glass. The comment apparently didn't sit well with the owner and head brewer. They dropped names on this. I'm not doing that right now. You guys can read into it if you need to, and actually go on to the websites and read on them. I'm not going to burn people on this. You can do your research and read into it if you need to, until I have all my facts and until I can present all of this and I've actually done a study like professional. I'm not going to drop names ever. That's not how it works. But I will show you guys the facts I see. So, who privately messaged a commenter with a homophobic and threatening statement. Spit that back into your boyfriend's sick mouth, you piece of explicit, he wrote. Like, what? So, everything happened with Dystopian Tate, and then in response to the controversy, Dystopian State posted an apology Monday night on Facebook. We really screwed up. We laughed at one of our customers and made a negative comment about our beer on a beer group in social media. We made it personal and have sent him a very poor taste. It was unacceptable and it was wrong. This is unprofessional and we take full responsibility. Thank you for giving us the chance to, and please accept our deepest apology for sending you hateful messages. We'd also like to reassure you, so this is kind of a weak response overall. I don't know, I need to do more research on that, but from an initial statement, this looks like a pretty weak response. And there's been some articles on it. Suspends check-ins on Untapped because there's been a lot of ugly stuff. And with that pitchfork thing, something I was talking with a couple people about was that people are burning down the beer, and that doesn't have to do with the culture, right? Burn down the brewery's culture, burn down the things that happened around that event when proven true, or if proven, not when proven. Is innocent until proven guilty. Anyway, so if all that's proven true, then burn the culture behind that down. But don't burn the beer is good quality. Don't lie about something that doesn't make the situation better. And that's what's happening with Yelp reviews and Facebook reviews on a lot of these. Is that make sure you're checking into that, because it needs to be representative of the beer itself. And I'm not backing up Melvin here. I need to say that because I'm angry. I'm presenting the facts. So that's doing my best to do here, making sure I don't get too crazy off topic, and I'm doing my best. I think I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, they've got, I don't know, man. It's very hard for me to understand why they haven't addressed this better. So that's what this was about, and that's what this video is about, and it's about showing all the things that I have found on this last kind of review from the Facebook things, from what I've seen. Another post on Facebook. Sorry, make sure I'm reading through all these. So there's a lot of like comments that I can't read through all these right now. I hope to read through some of them tomorrow, and maybe I'll address it in another video if we do some more on this. If we see the response from them, and we can address that at that time. But yeah, so this is what I've seen so far. I've seen, you know, and it's depressing to see online, and the problem with our social media society and all that is that there are different types of bullies online than there are in real life, right? In real life, you'll have someone that'll get up in your face, you'll have someone that'll just use verbal abuse on you, but in online, trolls are the new bullies. So you see these trolls come on, and they'll just troll these posts, and they'll try to get more reactions out of people. And some might do it in a white hat fashion, trying to get more people to talk about it, but some try to do it in this just insane fashion of just being more of a dick, or saying, hey, it's okay to joke about things like sexual harassment and rape, and it's really fucking not. Yeah. So the main point of this video, and what I'm going to close my notes on it, I finished in under a half an hour. I'm proud of myself. My finishing notes is that I say this video and I post this to state that I'm not buying from Melvin until I see a better response from them. I really hope that we do. They make really tasty beer. Really good beer, but if that is the culture surrounding their product, then I will not ever partake in it. I'd like to see a better apology from them as opposed to the one they quickly issued. I'd like to see them take responsibility. Also, I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody. This is my opinions, my statements. This is something for me, and that's what this blog, vlog, whatever it might be, this YouTube channel is about. It is my views on things. It is this streaming studio. This is my channel, me, my person. I'm not speaking on behalf for anybody else. And again, what I want to see, the apology, I want to see a plan of action from them, what they're planning on doing to make this right. And I'm going to do some more research on Dystopian Tate and Stone as well to see what's going on with all that. I addressed what had happened with Melvin, what the information I've seen. I addressed the response they made. I looked into the Malala Fund. I looked into what's going on with that, the Starbucks partnership in the upcoming near future. That was a very recent post, so I didn't do a lot of research on that. I apologize, but there looks to be some news on that, and that they don't have a lot of information on their charity sites yet. I addressed the deflecting of the blame, and I addressed why it's a really big deal in brewery culture, why this is, as opposed to like a big company joking about it or something like that. Couple last notes before I hit the 30-minute mark on this article. The reason I wanted to address on it is because there was an article on brewing in the Northwest and the diversity in brewing in the Northwest, and I'm going to do some research later this week and kind of contrast this, that maybe because there isn't a lot of diversity within the actual brewing, well, you know, no, it's not related, because 90% of the people I meet in the craft beer community aren't like this. So yeah, we're going to just stop that statement before I make it, because that's just stupid. But yeah, we're not going to plug me anymore. We're just going to minimize that. This was the forms, the 99 easy form for that Malala Fund. So you can see the president, secretary, there's 40 hours from 2 people and a couple hours from 1 per week, pardon me. So 3 people do an hour per week, 2 people do 10 hours per week, and 2 people do 40. They only have reported 50,000, but now in this next updated information from Charity Navigator, it's 19 million. So I'd like to see the information on that before I really know what's going on with that company, but it looks like they're doing great stuff. Really does. That's really cool. The irony of them sponsoring and posting a thing about educating women on an International Women's Day with that controversy is kind of sad. But yeah, the reason I didn't harp too much on it being National Women's Day is I don't want to take away from that day. Your day shouldn't be about a mistake that a brewery made. Women have been an incredible impact in my life, and I don't want the hindsight of this video to be a touch to National Women's Day, not International Women's Day. But that's why I haven't harped on that a lot. I don't want to take away from how awesome that day is. So you guys all rock. If you don't know me, I like to say thank you to you, all the viewers in your lives and what you're doing. So you're doing amazing in your life. Keep up the good work. Don't take too many people for granted, and say thanks to those you know. Use your manners, and yeah. see more of the people in your life for them face to face, and get off your phone every once in a while, except for when you're watching these videos. Press that sub button. Much love. Thanks for hanging out in the streaming studio. I'll see you next time.